3, 2, 1. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Knights. That is canted at a very awkward angle, so we're just kind of... Yeah, it's better. Okay, sorry, there's a thing in the way. Not in the way, but it's off. It's the auxiliary camera. It was all funky. Anyways, welcome back. Let's get all set up here. Let's get this. Let's get the chat up first, then let's get this shared around. Because it's been a little while. It's been a hot minute since we've had a little chat. So let's get this all done up the right way. I still haven't had a chance to mess with my OBS settings, so that's all a little funky still. But I have talked to a few people, and I get the reason. I get, not the reason really, but I get the why of how everything kind of did its funkiness. So that's good. All right, and chat is live. All right, let's get this shared around and get this ball rolling, shall we? I think we should. All right, Book of Faces. Let's go over to Knightsmith. All right, let's see what my horrible auto-generated. Oh, it didn't do a bad thing. Okay. Usually it auto-generates like a horrible thumbnail where I looked like I'm stoned out of my mind. Where's my coffee? There's my coffee. Okay. And thankfully this time it didn't. So let's share this. And then... let's get this over there. Bloop. Okay, and we're all shared around. Fallen from grace. Okay, let's get over to the chat because we have one of my fantastic friends over there. Fallen from grace. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me turn off the sound on my phone. Okay, so it's been a few weeks since I've been on. And that is because, well, first 2 weeks ago was Easter Sunday, or 3 weeks ago was Easter Sunday. And then last week, last week I had a bit of an issue with a custom board that was going out. And like a charcuterie board. I had a brilliant idea for it, and it was it's going to be a solid maple cutting board. I started off with 2.5 inch stock, but I figured my final thickness was going to be about 2 inches. That's fine. It's got to have 3 integral drawers. So 2 on the sides, 1 for just random whatever stuff, and then 1 I bought a bunch of tools for it, and the center one was going to be like skewers or pokers or whatever, and it was a huge pain in the ass. I ran through the whole thing, and I was doing one final leveling pass. Now the thickness of the top was down to about a little under 1/2 inch, right? So I set up my router, set up my jig, and I'm going through, Now, first off, I couldn't find the wrenches for my router, so I was making do with a regular adjustable wrench. Good morning, Alan. How we doing? How we doing, buddy? And I already spent like 14, 15 hours on this, and Derek spent like 4 or 5 hours on it sanding, because each process you have to sand and level everything before the next glue up, so everything gets together square and correct. So we're losing material, spending a ton of time on this thing. So I go through and do the first leveling pass, and it's a little rough, but it's fine. I mark it, sand it real quick, and there's a few low spots, right? Okay, not a problem. It has to be out. It was supposed to be out Thursday. It's Thursday night. You know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to just go home, take a night, finish it in the morning, and send it out with an apology. Next morning comes, and I'm there I'm at the shop with little man, and this is before Derek shows up. About 20 minutes before Derek shows up. So I was like, you know what? Here, I'll get it finished. It'll be really nice, and he's gonna be like, wow, man, that looks great. So I'm going through doing the pass, with the final leveling pass, and the bit slips, just carves a big friggin' path through the whole thing. So if I were to level it, it'd be less than a 1/4 inch top, and I cannot put that out there with my name on it. I just can't. So I had to scrap the whole thing, and I spent the rest of that day, Saturday and Sunday, working on starting from scratch, basically. And I'm glad I did, because in the end, even though the first project was wasted and it was a horribly painful learning curve, the final product that went out was a million times better. So I'm happy with that. So that's why I haven't been on the last 2 weeks. Oh, I was mad, y'all. I was mad. But, alright, one screw up, whatever. It happens. But now I have a much better process, and actually the whole process was thanks to Derek. He's like, hold on, let's talk about this for a minute. Let's figure out a better way to do this. And he figured out a better way, which is basically making it kind of like a bandsaw box. It turned out way better. I got it shipped out Tuesday or Wednesday, and it arrived at the clients down in Florida Friday afternoon, Saturday? Friday. I think it arrived Friday. Thursday or Friday. So I should be posting pictures of the new board either today or tomorrow. So how have you guys been over the last couple weeks? And Alan, how's the truck? Have you gotten that back? And I know Jill's car was having some trouble as well last week, the week before. Or last time we talked, Jill was having some car trouble. So did that all get resolved, or? So, the last 2 weeks have been rough. I had a funeral for an infant to go to. There was Easter. Just a lot of rough stuff this last couple weeks. And then there's that board. So it's been a rough couple weeks. Truck is back, and the Ford is gone. Gone, or like gone. So I've been doing a lot of work at the forge. Jill now has a 2015 Toyota Prius. Oh, good. Is that running well for you guys? So you both have vehicles that run now, right? I'm hoping you do. So yeah, the last couple weeks have also just been kind of like a comedy of errors on my part, but everything seems to be mysteriously turning up well, which I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'll just put it out there like that. Oh boy. So what else is there? So from the waste material from carving out the first board, I have a bunch of little thin maple strips that, on the advice of Derek, I've been turning into like Harry Potter wands. And when I have a ton of those and have them finished, because I've just been taking them to like 90% and moving on to the next one. I'm going to do all the tips, front and back, all at the same time. So it's just all lathe work. And he's been working on making a ton of hooks and stuff, which all of my patrons are going to be getting some S hooks or J hooks. I think S hooks in the mail in a couple weeks. So if you haven't signed up for Patreon, go over to patreon.com/Knightsmith, sign up. And so they're not going to be going out this month. They will be going out next month. So if you haven't signed up yet, get over there, sign up, and yeah, we'll be having that soon. So that'll be going out, and that's not a tier related thing. I'm going to start doing some more Patreon stuff soon, and actually I'm going to have in a little while, about 9:30, 9:45, I'm going to be talking about something special about Patreon, and something really cool for Patreon members. Yeah, the garage told us to trade the Ford in as soon as possible. It had an internal coolant leak. Oh, that sucks. Well, you know what? I'm glad your garage is honest enough to tell you that, instead of just waiting for it to go, then catching you guys for that one too. So I'm glad that worked out. Yeah. I'm gonna start making some kilts here in a week or two. Couldn't tell where it was leaking at. Ooh, that's not good. But again, they gave you good warning, good advice. Good on them, and good on you guys. Kind of feel a little bad for whoever you traded it to, but it's not your problem anymore. So things are really starting to ramp up at the shop. I have the forge working. The forge runs every day. Every day there's 2 or 3 small woodworking projects that go out the door, or either go out the door or get stacked up, which is fantastic. And pretty much every day that me and Derek work together, we just get a ton of stuff done, guys. I've been showing just little clips and stuff over on the Facebook group, just little pictures and little clips, just like kind of like a little teaser from when we start doing like going into and getting stuff done. But yeah, big stuff is coming, guys. Big stuff is coming. So keep your eyes out. I almost have my first axe finished too. Took a leaf spring, and with Derek's help, I was able to forge the eye all the way down, and then just by myself, I finished drawing out the face of it, and I split and drifted the eye. which is fantastic. Toyota of Scranton is where we traded. They were told about the issues it was having. Oh, so you were 100% upfront with everything. Beautiful. Even better. Well, hey, good on you guys. And I don't know if I'm going to, but I'm thinking about actually starting to use my TikTok for more than just looking at funny videos. I actually might start like going on there like and doing like a little clips and stuff. What do you guys think about that? Would you watch something like that? I don't know. What else is going on before we get into the meat of this? Let's see. Yeah, we made a in the church that we are restoring. Derek and I have made a couple brackets and a ton of little J hooks. And this week, sometime this week, we are going to be installing everything up above the windows, which is going to give us a huge advantage, a huge visual advantage, and acoustic advantage. So you're going to be getting pictures of that this week. I still have to drill out and countersink all the holes and everything, but we're going to be getting there soon. We'll probably drill everything and paint everything Monday, tomorrow, and then figure on seeing pictures of it all sometime later in the week, because I'm going to have to do that when little man's not around, because I'm going to be on like a 30-foot ladder, you know, traversing both sides of the church. Going to be a little sketchy, but we'll get it figured. So long as this ladder doesn't go sideways, we'll be good. Let's see, falling from grace. Sorry about the TikTok spam last night. Everyone was sleeping. That's fine. I laugh my ass off about that stuff, and I really do enjoy a good funny video. So, leatherwork wise, I've been experimenting with a few different things. I got some cheapo hole puncher from Hobby Lobby, I think it was, because they have a decent leather section. Well, decent leather section. This thing kind of sucks. It gets loose so fast. What it is, you have this platen here, which holds in all these little punches. Which normally, like on decent ones, these punches screw in, and these are just like pressed in, and they have this platen to secure it, which works itself loose after like 3 hits. However, I've been doing that, and instead of using my normal thread, which is this nice thin stuff, it's like 0.6 millimeters. And this was the experiment I did on my nephew's quiver that I posted on the Facebook group. I'd be using this stuff, which is like 1.6 mil. And I think this is just twisted cord with that's pre-waxed. And over the same span, I have 4 holes here over 1 inch, as opposed to 6 holes in 1 inch. So the sewing goes a lot better, a lot faster. Not quite as good, but if you're doing something large, as opposed to like a wallet, I think it's more passable. And that also keeps price down for people, and it keeps me from losing my freaking mind. Because if I have to charge $35 an hour, time is money, and every penny of that gets passed on to the customer. That's just how it works. So I think this is a way to go, and I might be getting might be getting more of this. Is where I'm going with that. So you might be seeing a lot faster things. And I'm thinking of even starting to use my sewing machine instead of hand sewing everything, starting to use the sewing machine on certain projects and products. I think the coasters would be where I would start with that, because my sewing machine is heavy duty. It's a whole steel, all steel construction, and made for sewing up to a certain thickness of leather. And I think I can do up to 5 or 6 ounce total, which like I can't do my wallets because it's 4 layers of 2 ounce, which is 8 ounces thick. But I'm pretty sure I can do my coasters with it. And that's just a decorative stitch anyway, so it doesn't have to be a, you know, a fully locked hand done saddle stitch. It's just pretty decorative edge. So I think I can get away with that. What do you guys think? And that starts bringing the cost down to something that people can afford. I like doing pretty things that people can't afford, because that's kind of the name of it. If people can't afford it, I can't really sell it now, can I? But yeah, no, Fallen from Grace, spam me all the time with TikTok stuff. I absolutely love it. Now this week, other than doing the stuff for the, you know, hanging fabric and J-hooks and stuff, I do have a few things going on. And I said I was going to do it at 9:45. I'm going to do it at 9:30. But it's going to be patron member specific, which means that we are going to have to, I'm going to have a conversation over there. Got to start making some leather corsets. Yes, I actually do want to start making some corsets. Hand forged lock pieces. So the pieces that go down the front, put in some actual spring steel boning in them. And with this stuff, this cordage here, it is strong enough that I can do a full corset with it. I'm pretty sure the other stuff is too, but with the spacing I have, it's fine spacing. So I need to either use the hole punch, which I don't want to do that with corsets. I think those should still be handmade. So I'm thinking if I get another set of punches, either diamond or flat punches, instead of doing the 3mm spacing, I'll do like a 6 or 8mm spacing, which leaves more meat between each thread, or between each hole, so it's more robust. And yeah, I want to do corsets and other things that I probably shouldn't talk about on here. But I do have patterns for, and I know there is a market for. Let's just put it that way. Getting spicy. So yeah, there's a lot of making stuff that's going on. I'm both branching out, but I'm also like consolidating a little bit. I have a few larger projects that I have to get my head around, and one, I actually have to get a design out to a client. I 2 weeks ago, I went and visited them, and I need to get a SketchUp design. It's basically just a high-end closet, high-end bespoke closet. Which, you know, whatever. It's not that big a deal, but it's something that they're really looking forward to. So I need to get that done, and I think I'm going to actually purchase the real version of SketchUp instead of using the free version. So that's a big step forward. I also need to get an actual computer instead of just using a laptop. I need more power. This thing's starting to get a little old, which that's not bad. You know, it's not a bad laptop. It was top of the line 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Oh boy. Yeah, like 5-6 years ago. So I need to get a computer. I'm gonna get a desktop, so I can have a bigger screen. It'll be easier to edit videos on, which I need to start getting into. I'm actually training a guy right now to start doing the editing, and I have a few things to talk to him about today in regards to that. Some more opportunity for him, which he's going to be thrilled with. But before I get the computer, I need to get this room cleaned. Throw away just a ton of shit, because you can't really see it, and even if you could, it wouldn't do it justice to how messy and disorganized I am in here. It is atrocious. So even before the leather bench, before I even put the leather bench in, I need to get the stuff cleaned up, cataloged, whatever. I need to find all my microphones, my splitters, everything. Yay, coffee is finally done. Fantastic. Because coffee. So both me and Derek are a little. It's 9:30. I'm gonna just talk about it now because I've been like doing a ton of research and blah 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 blah. So what I'm thinking is I am a little out of my physical depths right now, and so is Derek, on doing heavy forge work, especially drawing stuff out. We can do it. We've done it. I mean, if you're on the Facebook group, you've seen the axe. We've drawn out heavy forge work. It's not a problem. The problem is it takes a big toll on our bodies. And especially when you're doing heavy work, you know, it might take two guys to draw something out, like with that axe, to squish down that material and stretch it out and move it how we want it to. And you know, me controlling the hammer and directing the blows, it's fine. And then Derek with a sledgehammer and working the material that way, it works. Clearly, it works. And it's been done that way for thousands and thousands of years. Clearly, it works. But for a small shop with just two guys, who really there's only room for one guy to do the metal work. There's room for two guys to do woodwork, but only one guy for metal work. So instead of dedicating two guys to one project, one small project, I am going to be making a power hammer. And I need this to be funded by patrons. Now there's two things that are going to happen with this. One, all my patrons who sign up are going to get their name etched onto the faceplate of the power hammer. I'm going to be scratch building the whole thing. And there's going to be a video on it. Number two, everyone who does donate to it are going to be getting a knife from me, provided you're over 18 and it's legal for me to ship a knife to your country. Yeah, nothing big. Let's be honest. It's not going to be a huge knife. But you know, like a little cutter. I need to figure out the final price of it. You know, all the materials. I need to do a model. But I'm going to be building the superstructure out of 6-inch HHS tubing, steel tubing, square tube. I'm going to be I need to get a spare tire and an axle, which that's going to be, you know, $50, $60. I'm going to try using the motor, reclaim the motor from my busted up Harbor Freight table saw. I don't know if that's powerful enough. But with all the plate steel and the steel tubing and everything else, I can't fabricate from what I have lying around. Because I'm going to need to get springs and bar stock and a whole mess of things. I'm going to scrounge as much as I can. Well, let's be honest. But I need a power hammer. Oh, and I intend on filling the tube with sand to both increase the mass and to deaden the sound, because I like my neighbors and I don't want to get shut down. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a post over on Patreon. I'm going to be posting on Facebook about this, just so I can get all the materials and get this working. And while I'm doing that and processing all these other big jobs, I'm going to be working on the electricity. Because with this power hammer, sounds like a fun project. It's going to be a fantastic project. Are you kidding me? You actually sent me, Falling from Grace, you actually sent me a TikTok video. I mean, I know she was the lady that stitched with it was being a little pervy about it, which is kind of funny. But that's actually going to be what I'm building. But instead of doing a housing like they did, I'm going to be doing, it's all going to be driven by a wheel. And you see a bunch of them, they're wheel power hammers. And there's workshops all across the country, and there's hundreds of videos on YouTube about them. Basically, you have a wheel. So you have your spare tire mounted pretty high up. And you have your off-center axle welded to that. And you have a couple, you know, arms and stuff in here that drives your hammer up and down. Cool. But the whole driving force behind it is you have a brake on the tire on this side, and you have the motor on this side with basically just a certain size spindle. And when you engage the treadle, which is also spring loaded, it tilts the base, disengages the brake, and then engages the motor, spinning the wheel and starting the off-center motion to drive the hammer. And it's actually pretty safe, because as soon as you let go of that treadle, and here's the thing, safety is paramount with me, especially with kiddo coming to the shop. As soon as you let go of the treadle, the braking, the motor disengages and the brake engages, stops the hammer. So that's big for me. Alan, I have some half-inch thick steel plate that you're welcome to take a look at if you want. Oh, dude, definitely. I have some at the shop now. I don't know how good it is. I don't know if I can weld that thick. But yeah, definitely. And I'm going to bolt that whole thing to the ground. I'm going to put down a rubber mat first, a thick rubber mat. I'm going to bolt it through the rubber mat right to the floor. And that's going to get its own dedicated power source. But yeah, I think that's going to be a huge game changer for the whole blacksmithing side of the shop. allow me to draw material out way faster, allow me to work bigger, more ornamental stuff, and actually save the handwork for the finishing up, for the pretty, for the prettying stuff. Making tongs is a pain in the ass because I start with thicker stock, and doing the head is easy by hand. You just get one section, heat it up, a couple smash it, boom, boom, boom. You have your jaws laid out, you have your bolster, you're good. That's fine. Then it gets time to flip it around and draw out the reins, which is the grippy part. And oh my God, what a pain in the ass that is. They are 5 or 6 inches wide and about 36 inches long. I'm gonna guess that's mild steel. Actually, that'd be perfect for the arms, for the throw arms, and probably good for the to help balance the thing. I could weld one of those right there to both sides of the rim. Yeah, no, definitely. I know there's a few there's some things I'm just gonna have to buy for this project. Mainly like bearings and stuff, axle bearings, wear plates, I believe so. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get axle bearings, axles, some wear plates, and I intend on, instead of just having just a flat anvil and a flat hammer, I'm going to key them. So I'm going to put like a dovetail slot in the top and bottom receivers, and then make an anvil and hammer pieces that are removable. So if they wear down, or if I want to change shape, so if I want a flat one, or if I want a domed one, or if I want like rounding hammers, drawing hammers, blah blah blah. Leaf springs. Ooh, I like leaf springs. I have a few leaf. I have a full truck leaf spring right now that I'm working on. That's actually what this is here is I took one of the truck leaf springs from work before I left, and that's what I forged down into the axe. It's more like a hatchet, large hatchet. I switched over to coal, so there's the hatchet there. That's where I left it on Friday evening. I need to rebuild the forge all, from scratch. And there's a lot of grinding and cleanup that has to happen on this one. Unfortunately, I burned the back of it just a little bit, so it's not a sellable product. But I think when I clean up the eye a little bit, it'll work nice. But doing this is going to allow me to work a lot faster. It's going to save a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of muscle power. I mean, mainly, my arm is just killing me. From my arm and my hand, my grip strength is destroyed right now. I know it'll come back in a few days, and I'll be way stronger for it. I've seen a couple of builds of power hammers using leaf springs at the top. I have two. But those seem kind of sloppy with their action. And the way it works, they're long. But if you use the wheel, it's a very narrow and short profile. And I only have 19 inches of width to work with. And I only have 24 to 26 inches of depth. So I don't have a lot of space. Now, if I was a dedicated blacksmith shop and it was just a smithy in that building, yes, I might go with that. I might still go with the other one, but I might go with that one too. But since I only have maybe 20% of the space is the smithy, actually only 10% of the space is the smithy. The other 10% of that is just regular metalworking, so filing, grinding, welding, finishing, that sort of thing. I don't have the space to dedicate to a larger power hammer, so I kind of have to go. I'm kind of constrained to that wheel power, which is fine. Probably the heaviest thing I'm going to be working is the is leaf springs. You know, everything else is going to be much smaller, much lighter, just by nature of the beast. What else? Oh yeah, I've got to build one myself. Well, if you'd like, once I've got mine done and figured out, I'll be happy to let you come take a look at it, play with it for a little while, see what you think, see if you like it, you know, what you want to change, what you would change. I also upgraded the bellows. So instead of having the pull arm for the bellows mounted on the bench, it was just taking up way too much space. And that wasn't the ideal solution anyways. So I took and I mounted that on the ceiling. So I have that whole bench section is back open and free, which is what I need. And then from there, I also put in another section of pipe. So I put a Y in the pipe. And I had to turn a few plugs and reducer valves and stuff. But now the forge is not only hand powered, but I have a blower as well. So for when I really need to get things really hot, I have a blower motor now, which allows me to pack it and everything. And I switched from charcoal to coal. Which is where this picture comes in. And that's actually the picture where I burnt the back into the blade a little bit. Back into the eye. Which you can kind of see the the funkiness over here. So I burnt here, and that top back corner I burnt it a little bit. But I was able to split that eye myself and get it drifted and spread the blade of it enough to where I think it's a pretty decent shape. Now that's all that's left really is just clean up and a lot of grind work and then heat treat, which I'm gonna go do that today. Or not today, this week. I need to get some oil. What type of what works best for leaf springs, heat treating wise? Is it a water quench? Is it oil quench? I really don't know. What size coal am I using? It's not rice coal. It's not pea coal. It's the size up from pea coal. It's about the size of, well, I guess it'd be nut coal then. And I am getting tremendous amounts of heat out of it. Tremendous amounts. And I actually have a guy that's pretty close and pretty local And wow, my God, is it so much better than charcoal? I forgot how good coal is. When I was in high school, I used a bunch of rice coal, which was, it burned way too hot for what I needed. For what I needed, it burned way too hot. I melted so much metal by accident. It was bad. But, yeah, in high school, I was using whatever I can get my hands on because I had zero money to spare. Now I can be a little bit more picky and use the right stuff. Oh yeah, nut coal seems to be the way to go. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use nut or pea, but I think I have enough airflow through the nut coal. And of course, you know, I mean, the bigger the coal, the more I would get, the more airflow I'd get because there's more interstitial space. But yeah, it's way cheaper than charcoal, and just the heat density. Like I could almost set my hand on top of the fire, just my naked hand right on top of the stuff, and I don't get burned. In fact, when I'm packing it, I just pack it with my hands, which you can't do that with any other material. You really can't. It is such a it is so insulating just by its very nature that the heat stays right in that heart, and holy shit, does it get hot. So yeah, now that I have the upgraded bellows, I have the blower attachment. I'm using coal now instead of charcoal. So much is about to change, but I need to find the best way to heat treat and quench the blades. Now, when I start doing herb choppers and stuff, I'm going to be using O1 steel, which seems to be the way most guys go with that, which is fine. I have enough steel and stuff, junk steel and stuff, that I can prototype my shapes and sizes with that. But also, I'm gonna start doing some steel strikers and stuff for like a flint and steels. I've got a good pattern worked out for that. The S hooks and J hooks, you got that already worked out. Doing Harry Potter ones, which that's just like free money. It's so fast, so easy, and it affords you so much creativity that it's just fun, you know. Just a lot of fun. But now that I have that ridiculous heat source and everything else, what I'm also going to be doing, and Alan, do you have a guy that for fire brick? Because I need to rebuild the forge soon, and I'm going to need fire brick. I've just been using standard bricks and cement, and it's cracking all the hell, which I knew it was going to crack. That's not really my issue. My issue is it's just when I build around it, I'm using standard bricks, and I'm not getting the heat retention that I want. So I'm going to need to get a guy for fire brick. Wow, I'm really building this whole forge area up like heavily. Well, not really. I spent like $2,000 on the assembly table. So it's not really building it up too much more. I mean, it's kind of the heart of the forge, or heart of the smithy, so kind of should. Between the forge and the power hammer, it's kind of the way to go. What else? Yeah, I need fire brick, and I'm gonna start doing castings. Resin castings, obviously, but I'm going to be doing aluminum, brass, copper, bronze, pewter. So I'm going to need to get some fire brick so I can build up around the forge for when I'm doing the fire brick stuff, or the smelting. Leaf spring, I believe, is an oil quench. So, like, would motor oil be good for that? Motor oil kind of stinks, though. Coconut? I don't know what oil would be best for that. I remember when I was doing stuff in the backyard, what I would do is I would do I think it was called goop. A lot of things are called goop. Blow, BLO. I don't know what that means. But what I would do is I would mix bacon grease, olive oil, and heavyweight motor oil. So instead of like a 530, I would use like a 1020 or something, 10W20 or 10W30, which was pretty high. And then I added some Lucas oil in there too, just to give it more of a thick consistency. Now with that, I definitely needed to preheat it, just so that it was a flowing oil. But I got some great quenches and some really hard blades out of that, just using some scrap steel that I played with and tested. Let's see, is there any stuff in here? So yeah, I'm going to be building a power hammer, and what I intend on doing is, for that power hammer, I want it to be patron funded. Once I get the whole list together, I'll be making a post on Facebook and over on Patreon. All my patrons are going to get their name etched on the faceplate. Either etched or painted, I think etched. Boiled linseed oil, mineral oil, and can also use cooking oil as well. Well, I have a ton of mineral oil and I have a ton of linseed oil. So maybe I'll mix the two of those together and use that as my quenchant. I also know that Torborn uses boiled linseed oil. Is it boiled or is it just regular? I think it's boiled linseed oil as a finish on a lot of his stuff. And obviously it's not food safe, so he doesn't use it on like cooking utensils and stuff. But I know he uses linseed oil one way or the other as a sealant. So far, what I've been using as my sealant is paste wax, which it leaves a pretty nice finish, actually. Easy to apply. You just brush it on. It smokes off and soaks in, and we're good. It's nice. It feels nice in the hands. It's a nice thing. I also need to get a magnet on a stick, so I don't, just so I can get just to that critical temperature, and maybe just a hair more, and then back off and quench it. But I don't want to burn my fingers. Burned the shit on my thumb last week. I was an idiot and I just grabbed too close. It's going to happen a dozen more times before I get back into that habit of don't touch. Because it's so tempting just to grab it and just do what you need to do. But if you do that, you're going to lose your hand. Every form I've been to says stay away from motor oil. Yeah, motor oil it really stinks. That's one thing I remember, is it really stunk. Really stunk. So, again, playing nice with the neighbors. If I'm going to play with nice with the neighbors, I'll probably stick to boiled linseed oil and mineral oil. I'll probably mix the two of them. since I'm going to be doing mostly small things, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I need to get a metal tin. I guess I don't need to get a metal tin. I see a lot of guys, you know, quenching in like PVC and stuff. Just so long as the it stays. I mean, it's coolant, so it shouldn't matter that much. The vessel it's in, as long as there's enough thermal mass there to keep it from melting. Oh God, what a mess that would be. You melt through your quench tank and it just oil all over the shop. Oh God, that would suck. I also have to make myself a quench tank. Yeah. I mean, I guess what I'll be doing depends on the size of what I'm going to be doing. Like the size of the quench tank is going to have to be dictated by the size of the stuff I'm going to be working. So if I'm using just like tiny little gun springs, I could probably get away with a coffee cup. But if I'm going to be doing, you know, axes and knives and stuff, I need something a little bit bigger. I think I want a wider mouth on it. I think that would be best. Have a wide mouth thing. I've got the material to do it, just haven't yet. Dude, it's hard to find time to do things. I mean, you've seen the crawling pace I was at when I was working full-time and doing Knightsmith part-time. You just slog through and it just takes forever to get anything done. Now I can move a lot faster. So I definitely need to get on that. Yeah, definitely need to get on that. And I also want to make some fun things like, you know, some jewelry and some bodkin tips, stuff like that. And if I play my cards right, I might be able to get a blacksmithing class together. I'm going to see how it goes, but I'm going to try and make it free to the public. I'll probably limit the class size. You know, just have it as a smaller class. Maybe 3 to 5 people per class. Yeah. I'm also planning on getting a CNC by the end of the month. So, one last thing, because we need to wrap up here. I started a minute late, so I'm going to go a couple minutes long. I wet molded this. This is the first. I've got 2 different size pieces, steel tube to cut the size. Oh, that works. So I got this guy here. And I wet molded this. I took two cups. I got this wet and I jammed them together with this between them. Let it dry overnight. Worked fantastic. Problem was, it was the wrong size. This was the outside diameter. The inside of this was the outside diameter of the thing I was supposed to be working with. And oops. So, it's here. It's molded. It's pretty hard. What should I do with this? Because I don't want to toss this, but I don't know what to do with it. Do y'all have any idea what I should do with this? Could do with this? Whatever. I also need to get my CNC. I need to get the whole one side of the shop finished relatively soon too. Probably within the next couple of weeks to probably within 2 months. I want to get the whole rest of the shop finished. Get all the electricity run, get all the cabinets put in, all the benches and stuff finished on the one side, get it all up to snuff. Which realistically, that should probably only be like it's probably gonna cost about $3,000. But it'll probably only take like a week if I actually sit down, stop everything else. If I stop everything, if I don't have the kid with me, and I can just tear through everything, get everything out of the way, move everything, and put it all together how it needs to be, I could probably get it done within a week. Get all that finished. But that's another thing I need to get done. So I need to get a small quench tank. I need to get the shop finished. I need to get the electricity run. I need to get build a power hammer, and I have a bunch of big jobs coming up soon. So it's gonna be interesting. So guys, that's my time for the week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Alan and Fallen from Grace, for commenting. It's always fun to talk with you guys. Like I said, there's going to be a ton of stuff coming up very soon, very quickly. I'm going to be moving fast over the next several weeks to a month to get the whole shop finished and done. And then it's just going to be fun. Hopefully. I'm getting a bunch of little knickknacks and stuff together. Cutting boards, face grain, edge grain, end grain cutting boards. I'm working on all of that. You know, Harry Potter wands, a bunch of blacksmithing stuff, some jewelry stuff, some resin casting, some metal casting stuff, so I can start going to craft fairs and stuff and getting my name out there. I'm looking at mid to late summer starting craft fairs this year, doing first Fridays, that sort of thing. So we're getting there. It's been a slow process. Since getting to this shop, it's been like almost 2 years now. And I'm just getting it to the point where it's like passable. But we're getting there. We're going to be there soon. And I'm out of time for this week. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't, like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. A lot of stuff is coming. And things are getting to a critical mass point. And it's really coming to a head where like it's gonna get really cool really fast really soon. Yeah, and if you haven't yet, guys, I've said it a few times already in this video, but go over to patreon.com/Knightsmith. Even $1 a month helps. By not this month, by next month, I'm going to be sending mid next month, so you have this whole month to sign up. I'm going to be sending out some hooks to people, to all my patrons, just as a general thank you, regardless of what tier you guys are at. And I'm going to be using all that money for the power hammer. There are certain things I can make do with what I have around, scrounging and stuff, but there are certain things I'm just going to have to buy. You're all going to get your name on it, and everyone who's a patron is also going to get a knife, provided I can send it out from that power hammer that I'm going to be building. I'll spark test that steel and let you know what it sparks at. Beautiful. I know the steel I'm working with now is like a higher mild, It's not quite tool steel, but it'll definitely harden. Spring steel, so it better harden. But it's not tool steel, so it's somewhere between tool steel and mild. So it's a lower grade spring steel. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and thank you for helping make this world better. One kerf at a time, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.